Today, we're dipping donuts and discussing diversity in the kitchen with Jasmine and Sharky of Jewel LA on Cooking with Pride.
Hello.
Ooh, bringing us in. The kitchen has always been a place for people to come together and share their stories. I've invited a few of my favorite food friends from the LGBTQIA community to share their stories about cooking, connecting in the kitchen, and creating recipes that inspire others. This is Cooking with Pride. I'm a huge fan of donuts. They've always been like one of my favorite foods. I'm really excited for this.
They should be in their own food group.
I know, totally. I love donuts so much that my mom told me I could only have them once a month. So I had my calendar and I would like mark on the calendar when it was the Saturday where I was allowed to have donuts again.
Oh, that's hilarious. Wow, your mom was strict.
Yeah. What is like the story behind these donuts?
Well, we're a daytime restaurant, so it was important to me that we had a strong coffee program and a bakery program, and like, who doesn't love donuts? We just have a lot of fun with them because they're kind of like a blank canvas. So for Pride Month at Jewel, we always do rainbow donuts and sometimes rainbow pancakes. And everybody loves them, and then they continue asking for them throughout the year. But it's actually a lot of work to make all the different glazes, so we're like, no, they're just...
It's a once-a-year thing. So what's in this mixture here?
So here I have water, coconut oil, and vanilla extract.
Okay. And did you pour some flax in there?
Yes. Flax works to bind things as an egg would.
Wow.
A lot of people try these and have no idea that they're vegan, which is the point, because I never want people to try them and say like, oh, this is amazing for a vegan donut. I just want them to be like, this is the most amazing donut.
Oh my God, I wish these donuts were around when I was a kid. My palate would have been like...
you could be like, Mom, they're vegan. I can eat them twice a month.
I know.
My parents were even more strict. I grew up without any sugar at all.
What did you grow up eating?
Super healthy, hippie macrobiotic.
What's macrobiotic?
It's a Japanese philosophy of eating everything in harmony, everything in balance, everything local. So like, you're not supposed to eat like a mango from Brazil if you're here in California right now. It's supposed to be like a starch, a pickled component, a fermented component, a fresh vegetable, and a very small portion of protein. So the emphasis is just on really eating like whole grains and fresh vegetables in balance. So a lot of this bowl craze that is now happening really came out of like macrobiotics.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you start experiencing like different kinds of food?
My culinary awakening definitely came from my Japanese grandfather taking me out to lunch and like introducing me to tempura and California rolls and like chicken teriyaki.
Yeah. You're like, wow, this whole new world.
Yeah, this whole new world, yeah. So that was where I first discovered umami and just different textures and colors and flavor combinations. So you still see a very strong Japanese influence in my cooking now.
What about you, Sharky?
I grew up in the Philippines, so it's like rice 3 times a day, lots of meat in our diet. And I was able to explore food when I moved here to the country. Just like able to like taste the diversity of the culinary world from all over.
Yeah. How was it when you went to school?
So embarrassing, mortifying, because everyone had like their little turkey Swiss cheese sandwich in their little Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
And their fruit roll-up and their Capri Sun.
Yeah.
And my sisters and I had like the sprouted hippie sandwich wrapped in aluminum foil and like a salad in a yogurt container.
Oh my God. And you're like, this is my lunch.
Yeah, well, they were.
Lunch was like sometimes a traumatic experience because I just remember, like now looking back on it, I'm like, I was able to eat like such great food and that was so incredible. But as a kid, like so often, I feel like there's a part of you that is just like, I just don't want to stand out that much.
You just want to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's happening here with the dough?
So it's ready for us to take it out and start proofing it. With my hands, scraping it off the edges. See how it's nice and intact, but it's sticky, which is fine. It doesn't have to be like dry like bread.
Oh my gosh, it's just really satisfying looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It smells so good.
I floured it a little bit so it doesn't stick to our bowl while we're proofing it. And do you want to hand me that bowl?
So what is proofing exactly?
That refers to rising the yeast that we were using in the recipe, so letting it activate and rise the dough in preferably like a warmer environment, 70, 75 degrees. And you usually cover it to kind of incubate it. That's what helps the dough rise and get that beautiful airy structure that we're looking for.
Got it. I'm excited. Go proof. Well, it looks like the dough has done its job.
It has, beautifully,
Yes.
wouldn't you
Very.
say?
Yeah.
We are gonna handle it very gently with love and care. And we are gonna end up knocking some of the air out of it in this process, but it's okay, it's gonna come back.
It looks so pillowy and fluffy.
I know, don't you just wanna lay your head down on
Yes,
it?
I do.
This bottom side's a little sticky, add a little flour. At this point, I'm gonna roll it out to about 1/2 inch.
Okay.
Gently, because I don't wanna knock all the air out of it. You wanna
Oh,
check it
yeah.
out?
Okay. Oh, I love dough. It's just so satisfying.
Isn't it just like, it's like being a kid?
Yeah, I just always think of Play-Doh and I'm like, but this you can eat.
Yeah, I've made this with my 7-year-old niece recently, and it's her new favorite thing in the world.
Ugh.
All right, I think we're good.
Okay.
Good, got a nice even width there. All right, so we're ready to start punching. I like to dip this in flour so it doesn't stick. And then you wanna make good use of the surface area that we have, so don't just sort of like haphazardly punch around, but you wanna go right up to the edge.
Okay.
And then you're gonna do this kind of twisting motion so it doesn't stick. Pop out the hole, which you can fry
later.
separate.
She's ready for snacks.
Which I can eat later.
Yeah, we call these shark snacks.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so
Shark bites.
Here, Boo, why don't you go ahead and you get in there.
How did both of you get into the food world professionally?
I actually went to hospitality school in the Philippines. And then I did move here to the United States and started working in hotels as a barback.
So you entered through like the hospitality world.
Yes. And then I started out as a barback in Atlanta. And then moved to New York City and just continued working in restaurants and just working as a manager and eventually being like a general manager of a restaurant and now owning our own place.
What about you, Jasmine?
I always wanted to do so many different things. Like, I was never one of those people that knew right away what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a writer, a filmmaker, a dancer, like so many things. And I just really went to school for all, you know, some of the above. And at some point, I kind of was like, all right, what am I doing? What truly brings me joy consistently? And I was in Mexico at the time, and I just had this epiphany that like the only thing that consistently makes me happy is cooking.
How did you guys end up meeting each other?
Even though we're both in the restaurant industry, ironically, we met online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Had either of you been on dates from the online world before?
No.
Oh, so it was your first
It was our
one?
first.
Yeah. We were each other's first
Yeah.
online date.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it worked.
Definitely. It definitely did.
It was an immediate hit. So what's happening now with the donuts? We have our...
Yeah, they're punched out and they're ready to do their second proof.
Okay,
And
cool.
then we're gonna fry them.
Yes. Okay, it looks like the donuts have grown since the last time we saw them.
Yeah, see, they're nice and puffy. They've done their job again. Thank you, donuts.
Thank you. Especially that one.
Yeah, this was the scraps that I gathered together and repunched. I don't know if you noticed that, so it's alive. And we want to handle these very gently. I'm just gonna drop it in the hot oil very carefully.
What kind of oil is that?
This is rice bran oil, actually, which is what we use at the restaurant. It has a nice high smoking point and it's non-GMO.
What's happening over here?
I am gonna start on the glaze.
Okay.
We're gonna make a blue glaze, which is from blue algae.
Oh. I feel like finding blue in nature is a little tough.
It is.
Like finding a blue like that.
It is tough, tougher than you would think. And I know because I've gone through the whole rainbow and it's like blue, you think of blueberries.
Yeah, but they're not actually blue.
They're not actually blue. They actually turn like a reddish purple. So this is actually an algae product called Blue Magic. Yeah, completely natural, super nutrient dense. We've got a nice brown color there. Gonna flip them.
Looking toasty. So how did you guys end up working together? Because you were both in the food industry, but you didn't know each other through the industry.
Right. We kind of knew that we didn't want to stay in New York forever as much as we love it so much. I'd been there for 15 years, Sharky for 13 years, and we wanted to get married and improve our quality of life, and I really wanted to come back to California, where I'm from originally, and be closer to my family.
Actually, one of the reasons we moved here to LA is to hopefully start a family of our own. Instead, we open up our own different baby.
Yeah,
A restaurant.
Now we have a restaurant baby and a restaurant family.
Yes.
What has that been like, having a restaurant together?
Restaurants are insane. I mean, they're controlled chaos by definition. And then on top of it, it's a small business. But we're really passionate about it. Like running a small business as two queer female owners, I think in this current climate is more important than ever. So
Totally.
as challenging as it is, because every day there's some emergency or some disaster, it's just, we have to keep reminding ourselves that it's worth it for like what we're adding to the community and what it's bringing to our lives, like not having to answer to anyone else, and that we're creating not just the product, but like the dialogue, the environment, the inclusivity that we offer at Jewel. So I think we both feel really passionate about that.
Yeah, and I feel like spaces like your restaurant just naturally draw up other people in the queer community. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The foundation, the energy, the philosophy behind it, just like what we bring to it, I think really shows through, because people walk in and immediately just feel welcome and comfortable, and then they eat the food and they feel like nourished and
You just feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
and they keep coming back.
Which is great.
I have definitely heard that, you know, behind the scenes in the kitchen, it can very much be a boys' club back there.
Oh, yeah? You've heard that?
Yeah. I'm sensing it's very true, and you have experienced that. What has that been like, going from like that world into now having your own space and like being the leader yourself?
2008 is when I started cooking, but the fine dining kitchens that I were working in were still run by what's called like the old guard, and like these chefs that had grown up with this very European masculine style of running a kitchen. So my first job, I was the only woman that worked on the line, and I was hazed hard like every day, like sauces like sprayed all over my back, like on the line while I was working. The guys used to put like stinky cheese in my shoes, or like crab entrails.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, these things really happened.
So we do that in our restaurant.
You're like, clearly we brought that to our...
Yeah, that's obviously the way to go. I mean,
That's really what brings
It's
people
really
together.
effective.
it's very effective. Well, it was effective in making me stronger.
Yeah.
I just decided to ignore it and just like be better than them.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. Just worked harder, longer, faster. I never, lowered myself to that level, but it's definitely a whole different story running my own kitchen and like finding my own voice as a chef and commanding respect without putting people down to make them work harder for you. I just don't buy into that philosophy. I never did as a cook. It never made me want to work harder for that person or want to be better. It was something that was an important part of my path in becoming a chef, and how I run my kitchens is to lead by example, be firm but fair, and give them positive feedback and validation, because that's what makes people like want to work better.
Yeah, totally. Especially when you're in a world like this that is just so creative. I feel like positive reinforcement is really important.
Cooking's a hard job.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's not for everyone. So I feel like if we're gonna be working so hard, we may as well be very passionate about it, enjoy each other's company, and feel good about what we're doing.
It is so interesting that we often equate like strength and power with like aggressiveness. And I feel like real strength as a leader comes from bringing out the power inside of like the people that you're working with and helping them to see that power within themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And that would be considered a more feminine way of leading, actually, like bringing people together, utilizing each other's talents to get a better result, as opposed to the patriarchal, like, I'm the one, I'm the god, everyone listen to me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at those little guys. I love that. I love that you're using like all the dough too.
Oh yeah, no waste. All right, so now these are ready for the icing. We're gonna build our rainbow in order. So we're gonna start with the red one, which is more like a fuchsia because we used hibiscus to make this glaze. I like to just go line them up as they are and go straight across. So you're just applying pressure.
Oh, you get them all at the same time.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go with our mango ginger that's colored with some turmeric. This combination actually sounds kind of crazy when you say it out loud all together, like hibiscus, mango, turmeric, ginger, matcha, lavender, ube, algae. Like, it sounds a little crazy. I actually was like, but then when you eat it all together, all the fruity flavors really work together, and it tastes like
Fruit Loops.
Like Fruit Loops.
Oh my God, this is—
Which is also very appropriate, I feel like.
As queer women, how was it growing up?
I came out pretty late to my family. Not repressed is not the word, but it's more about maybe more denial, and then more about like struggling within myself about my sexuality.
How was it like growing up in the Philippines? Did that affect you, like where you were growing up? Was that a part of the denial?
Yes, it's a very religious country where my family's very religious, very conservative. Catholicism was a big part of it, you know, just accepting myself.
Do you still identify as being Catholic?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. But I do feel good or accepted myself in a way that I'm not doing any harm.
Yeah.
I'm just loving another person. It just so happened to be another female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. What about you, Jasmine?
Very different experience. I didn't grow up with any shame around it. I just very much like felt feelings. Like, I remember having a crush like on a girl on the school bus, and I didn't really feel any like shame around it. Like, they were just feelings. So that being said, even though I didn't feel ashamed of my sexual orientation, when I did tell my father, he kicked me out of the house, which is not something I was expecting. And he's definitely become more accepting of, like, he was at our wedding, but it was a struggle for him. So I guess despite his like liberal, hippie, California surfer guy demeanor, like the conservative Japanese in him came out with his own daughter. It was like hard for him to accept.
Yeah.
In the end, I think the lesson we both learned is that your parents just want you to be happy. So a lot of parents that are very hurt and upset and disillusioned and afraid, like when their children come out, is like they just don't want them to have a more difficult life. Then because they want their children to be like safe and happy and successful, and now there's this otherness that you have to deal with. Yes, Sharky's parents felt like that was wrong according to the Bible, but then once they got to know me and they saw how much we loved each other and how good I was for Sharky and how happy we were together, it was actually pretty easy for them.
Easy at that point.
To accept me. I think just seeing their child happy kind of changed everything.
Yeah. Can I try
Did you
some of
want
this?
that? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm hogging this process.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Okay, so
Was
just
it
go.
Roy G?
Yeah. I love this. It's just so
Oh, you
colorful
did
and
such a
happy.
good job. Yeah, you made it look so seamless.
Okay. This is so much fun.
That's it.
These donuts look like they're ready to eat. I'm very excited for this.
They are. This is the best part.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Good job, ladies. Cheers.
That was a good donut.
Thank you so much. I definitely pride us, pun intended, on having the best donuts. They're not the best vegan donuts. They're just, I think, the best donuts.
This is incredible. And I agree with that too. And I love that you're just like, yeah, this is the best. There's something so powerful about a woman especially saying, I am the best at this. Like this, or I make this and it is the best. And just having that confidence, because I feel like so often we're like told in various ways to like diminish our talents and our skills. And for you to just say, yeah, I know that this is a freaking awesome donut. And it is. Yeah, it really is. And I just love that you're saying that and you're not downplaying it.
Yeah, I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just owning it.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and sharing these amazing donuts. I've never made donuts like this before, so this was like such a cool process for me, especially.
Amazing.
With
Well,
my
thank
deep
you.
history of donuts.
Donut repression.
Thank you so much. I love this.
Thanks
Thanks
you
for having
for
us.
having us and sharing this experience with us.